Hey, what's going on YouTube? Got a bit of a different video for you today from my channel. I'm doing a review of this book called Badlands by Patrick Kleckner. Now, Patrick Kleckner, according to the back of the book here, he's former Army Special Forces and spent 37 years in both military and law enforcement careers. So this book is a zombie apocalypse novel. So the premise is that the United States of America is attacked by, I believe, Iran, maybe some other baddies with bombs. And these are like chem warfare bombs that have something in them that reanimates the dead from the initial bombing. And the reanimated dead, the zombies, take over because they're going to come around and bite you like zombies do. So there's an epidemic of this throughout the country. The book itself takes place in Colorado, and some big cities got bombed like Denver, and the disease spreads from the bites and people not knowing what's up when it first happens. So the protagonist of the book, Ben, lives with his family and in a cul-de-sac, in a typical suburban neighborhood, and he's buddies with his neighbors, and they understand that there's a problem. Now, what this book does, instead of just pure fantasy, it promotes some realistic prepping and survival techniques into the book, due to the the experience and education of the author. So first thing, or one of the first things you got to worry about, is water. And I remember from reading this book, the protagonist has one of those containers. I guess it's a container. It's got to be a container if you put something in it, but it's one of those things that you can put in your bathtub. It's like a vinyl tarp type container, and you can fill that with water, and it just takes up the space in your bathtub, so you can have however many gallons of water for an emergency. Probably a solid 30 gallons or so fit in your bathtub, I would imagine, minimally. So you can have that on hand, because water, clean water anyway, always an issue in emergency situations. And food. So this guy, he has been preparing for emergencies, so he has some food stashed away. The typical, things that are good for long-term storage. Oats, rice, beef jerky that they make at home. I've even made some myself sometimes with just dehydrating beef, a little salt, good to go for I don't know how long. So that's what this family does, and they work together with their neighbors. Now, Ben, the protagonist, is also firearm enthusiast, to put it lightly, we'll say, and he uses his gun collection throughout the book. He is, like the author, a former Special Forces guy. So he has some things to hold down the fort, so to speak, in his neighborhood, and get some assistance from his neighbors as well. Now, their town, like many others in America, has been overrun with the undead. And they kind of hold up at home and venture out now and again for supplies, hit up the hardware store to find basic things. And eventually, what Ben and his neighbors do is venture out and take some chain link fencing from a school nearby, take it apart, load it in their trucks, take it back to their cul-de-sac, and make a perimeter so the undead can't just walk in. Pretty smart. Now, eventually, things take a turn for the worse. In all natural disasters, there's always some bad guys that want to take advantage of those who were prepared or at least have something that they do not. And there's a group led by a really bad guy named Dell. And they kind of case out this neighborhood and even like herd in some of the undead to their neighborhood and cut some wire so they can walk right on in. And the group of families has to battle these zombies to the death. And they win. The families, I mean, not the zombies. Come on. This is a good story. So this leads to more consideration from the group of bad guys who eventually will launch into a full-scale assault of this neighborhood. So you'll need to check out this book to find out how that goes, how the story ends. Can America be saved from the zombies? It is a really exciting story. As I said, you can get this on Amazon. Just look up Badlands by Patrick Kleckner. It'll come right up. Now, I believe this is independently published and didn't have professional editing, no budget for that in independent publishing. But so you will find some grammatical errors and such through the book, but it doesn't take away from the excitement of this story and lessons you can learn as far as preparedness, emergency supplies, and survival can go. So, awesome story. Again, go check it out on Amazon and stay tuned for more Isaac's Knives and Knowledge. We'll see you on the next video.